Hello, and welcome to ZooMed's Power of the Sun series. In this episode, we'll be going over the part of the sun's electromagnetic spectrum known as infrared, how it benefits your pet reptile, and how you can best recreate it in their habitat. Let's get started. Infrared is the most abundant part of the sun's radiation that reaches Earth, and comes on the tail end of the color red on the visible light spectrum, hence the portion infra, meaning below in Latin, below red. While we can't see the majority of infrared, we can certainly feel it. Our bodies absorb this light energy, which vibrates the molecules in our skin, creating a sensation that we recognize as the sun's heat. This is where it can get tricky. Heat may be the tangible effect of infrared, but that doesn't mean it's all the same. Infrared can be categorized into three distinct ranges: infrared A, infrared B, and infrared C. Each has a range of wavelengths that offer varying degrees of penetration on exposed bodies, both living and inanimate. For example, 70 degrees Fahrenheit indoors is very different from 70 degrees Fahrenheit in direct sunlight. A thermometer may show the same temperature, but direct sunlight has the unique ability to penetrate through our body, warming our core. This deep projecting energy is what we refer to as infrared A. Infrared A is a shorter wavelength able to penetrate their scaly exterior and warm their core directly. Once their core is warmed, this heat becomes a new type of energy, the longer wavelength infrared C. More on that later. Similar to the greenhouse effect, the dense keratin protein in reptile scales stops this new type of heat from leaving their body, allowing them to utilize it throughout the day without having to constantly bask. Think of it like charging a cell phone. Once charged, a cell phone's battery can operate throughout the day. Reptiles are like nature's solar-powered batteries. Infrared B is the mid-range frequency of infrared. It's similar to infrared A in its ability to penetrate the skin, but more on a surface level and not as deeply. Infrared C, the longer wavelength I mentioned earlier, is unique in the fact that it isn't so much part of the energy given off by the sun, but instead the energy given off by objects heated by the sun. Essentially, everything hot or cold, alive or inanimate, can give off infrared C. Reptiles seek out this type of heat in the ground or on the rocks they bask on. Infrared is another vital element of the sun's radiation that helps sustain all life on Earth, especially so for reptiles. Reptiles are known for being cold-blooded, or scientifically speaking, ectothermic. This means that, unlike humans, their bodies don't produce their own heat and need an external heat source like the sun to stimulate bodily functions and literally get their blood moving. But heat isn't just important for motor functions, it's also important in the process of synthesizing vitamin D3. Like we mentioned in the UVB episode, reptile skin creates a version of a vitamin known as D3 when exposed to UVB. This vitamin is essential for a reptile's absorption of dietary calcium, which benefits several important bodily functions like bone health, metabolism, and egg development. But without the proper heating to synthesize this important vitamin, the body is incapable of processing dietary calcium and distributing its benefits throughout the body. Heat also helps reptiles determine the time of day or season, helps their immune system to fend off fungal or bacterial infections, helps the body fight against parasites, and it just feels good. Now that we've gone over the different types of infrared and what they have to offer, it's important to note that not every reptile utilizes heat the same way, and it can vary from species to species. Always research the species you're keeping and adjust their habitat accordingly. When trying to recreate the sun's heat in our pet's habitat, reptiles should have options to the level of direct heat they're exposed to throughout the day. In a reptile's habitat, it's important to offer warmer and cooler areas alongside a comfortable ambient temperature. This creates a thermal gradient. A designated basking area and lamp will help your pet get that vital, deep penetrating heat we mentioned earlier, while caves or shaded areas can offer some nice places to relax and cool off. This thermal gradient should be available the same 10 to 14 hours that the sun is naturally out. During nighttime hours, basking lamps, lights, and heaters should be turned off to recreate a natural nighttime temperature drop. This helps promote natural habits like managing body temperatures and sleep cycles. Being indoor pets, however, it's important to take into account local temperatures of where you're keeping your reptile. For colder homes or with certain species, a nighttime heater may be needed to keep temperatures from dropping too low. Try to match the highs and lows of your pet's natural outdoor environment. There are a variety of heating products that can help us achieve these day and night temperatures, each offering a type of heating similar to the infrared spectrum. Halogen lamps and basking lamps, for example, are great at mimicking the sun's infrared A and B wavelengths, while ceramic heat emitters and undertank heaters are good for recreating the re-radiated heat of infrared C. Always use a thermometer to monitor your pet's habitat temperature. When setting up your pet's basking spot, make sure the designated area is large enough to cover the majority of your pet's body. That way, your pet's entire body is being warmed and they won't feel the need to constantly readjust and end up basking longer than they should, resulting in burns. This can be achieved by either changing the lamp height, changing the bulb to a more suitable output, or adding an additional bulb to broaden the spread of the basking area. See what works best for your unique setup. When using heat lamps that emit infrared A, you'll want to avoid using a dimmer. Dimming one of these bulbs too much will remove the beneficial infrared A output. Be aware of the items you place inside your habitat. Whether it's substrate or decor, every piece can retain heat differently and indirectly raise the habitat's overall temperature. Regardless, you should always monitor the temperatures of your pet's habitat. And that brings us to the end of this episode. We hope you've enjoyed this short deep dive into infrared and its benefits. If you have any other questions about infrared or heat, feel free to comment on this video. Make sure to check out the other episodes in our Power of the Sun series to learn more about the varying wavelengths of the sun and how to provide them for your pet. Take care!